Hello, Dr. Cliff again. Today we're going to talk about diets. The word diet is not probably the best word, I think, to use because a lot of people have negative feelings about it. Maybe more just what our typical meals for the day look like. Most people have grown up with like, 3 square meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Potentially, that's probably the worst way you could eat. There's a growing trend for intermittent fasting and taking, big chunks of the day where you don't eat at all. It works for some people, especially for weight control, but I don't think it's the best plan for the general population. The body and the brain both like to be fed a little bit more than 2 to 4 hours out of 24. So I think for most people, eating 5 times a day but eating smaller meals is a better scenario for health and recovery from exercise. It doesn't always fit people's busy schedule, but you can make it more doable by eating small amounts throughout the day, and especially prepping your meals ahead of time where you cook a large amount of stuff or just cut up a bunch of vegetables and have them ready to go so that you don't have to stop and prepare meals 5 times a day. That cuts up into the day quite a bit. If you spend a few hours on the weekend or a few hours one night a week where you do a bunch of cooking and preparing of meals for the next 3-4 days, or like I do on Sunday for pretty much the whole rest of the week, it can make that a lot easier to do. As far as trends in dieting, there's a lot of these exclusion diets right now. I'm not a fan of any of them. Typically, people lose weight on them, and it's because they're decreasing their calorie intake because of the things they're excluding. Like, I don't eat gluten, or I don't eat bacon. I don't know why somebody would not eat bacon. It's good. But I don't eat anything that's this color or that color. No white foods, no beige foods, no green foods. Any type of exclusion diet, you're missing out on whole sections of food. The only kind of exclusion diet that might be good is I don't eat anything that's made in a factory that I need a chemistry degree to figure out what's in it. That might be okay. But in general, eating a wide variety of foods that's a realistic amount, everything in moderation, that most of it you could go grow in your backyard or hunt or fish for. The more natural and less processed it is, the better. But cutting out whole sections of food is not a good plan. The number of people that are truly gluten intolerant to an extreme number that have celiac disease is very small. Most people that say they feel better when they are eating gluten-free, it's just because they aren't having as many of the additives and processed things that are in all those different snack foods and things that they're eating that typically have gluten in. The same thing with people that eat some of these other diets where they're cutting out, any type of sugar or any type of, fat-free diets or low-fat diet. You're cutting out whole groups of things, which typically what it's doing is decreasing the amount of processed food, not necessarily being the most healthy, but it's just cutting down on calories so you see a change in your body.